Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of our podcast, A Conversation with Neil Stevens. My name is Rob Sheridan, and I'm going to be hosting Neil along with his brother Tony. And we also are joined here by a VIP who has to remain anonymous for now, right? You're going to come out at some point. Really a great guy. And also our campaign team, basically, Jess and Donna. This really was the nucleus of our campaign team, us 5, but we had together about 30 or 40 people to back us up, and we delivered the great result that we had. Before I open it up, Neil, just like to mention, we're going to have an interesting annual general meeting to our branch. And basically, how a lot of parties are organized is they're organized such that there are different geographic areas. In Exeter, we have an area where 9 divisions are identified, 9 Devon County divisions, and I think we have about 14 wards coming up for next year. And guys and gals, if you are keyboard warriors, stop, get your checkbooks out, go on the Reform link and become a member. As I said last week, when we have our annual general meeting in July, it's going to be an absolute blast. You'll love every minute of it. If you don't enjoy it, I'll personally give you your money back. So anyway, we're going to start off, if you don't mind. We had one guest that was going to join us, but he's overwhelmed with work, and he loves his job, so he won't be with us today. But how's it been going, guys? Tony, do you want to kick us off? What's been going on at the council?
Well, I live at the council. I went to Exwick Heights School yesterday on an invite to do the fete, which I appreciate very much. Council-wise, well, just following up on leads and that and sort of chasing them. Most of the things I've done otherwise are local stuff, which are chasing the council to do things that need doing and trying to sort out the Farm Hill foliage that seems to be overgrown.
How about you, Neil?
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. You know, we're not here to sugarcoat things. We're here to try and get answers from the local authorities. You know, I've been pushed around, left, right, and centre, but we're here to get answers and then relay them to you. And just want to say that we are here to relay that information to you. So, this gentleman who couldn't come today, a bit disappointing. But if anybody else wants to come on the show, we've got about 5 other people who are lined up over the next 5 weeks. But please send it to our team here, all right, and we can arrange a time.
Thank you, Neil. And I think some of the takeaways, if I could say, that you guys have shared with me is basically got a big challenging situation because a lot of the funding really is that the council gets is statutory, and they're locked in and don't have too much influence on it. As a result, we have a lot of the normal services that you would expect in the past, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, that aren't being able to be delivered properly. And as a result of that, it's really thrilling that some of the local community is stepping up. I'd like to just mention, if you don't mind, guys, there was a link put on about the cleanup of the quay that's going to happen on the 20th of June at 1:30. Be great if you guys could be there. I went down to, if I could maybe just promote this, just vaguely promote it, Marketplace Carpets in Marsh Barton, and I talked to Nicole, I believe her name was, and she and Coastal Recycling and another business are sponsoring this. Nicole firmly believes in the power of community, as we do. The communities really need to step up because the councils don't have the funding, and it's not the council's fault. It's the politicians and the laws at the top end in Westminster. What do you think about that, Neil?
Yeah, I mean, we're here to support all local, or as many campaigns we can. And, I have been dealing with Exeter City Council, and I must tell you, the lady I met last Thursday was very helpful. And we're meeting somebody tomorrow to deal with an issue in Barton Fields. And I think I've had more results of Exeter City Council than Devon County Council.
Yeah, and maybe a good example of the community stepping up, another example anyway, is if you go down to Pince's Gardens, which is off of Alphington Road, you'll see that there is a sign that was graffitied over. There was a few dustbins that was graffitied, and our team has already started an action. We've removed the graffiti from that sign, determined actually, quite frankly, that it's beyond repair. So we're going to get a new one for 30 quid put up. And oddly enough, actually it was yours truly that did some of that work, frankly, Tony. But it was a really great thing, because when I worked on that graffiti for a solid 2 hours, there were a lot of residents that passed, and the same thing. And I echoed to them, it's not the council's fault, like the people that you met, Neil. It's a funding issue. Tony?
Yeah, we come across this a lot, that they're under so much constraints. They just don't have the money, and they have to rob Peter to pay Paul. So they have to sort of get rid of one thing so that another service can be provided. So they try and sort of do it at minimum impact. But obviously we are seeing the impact now.
Yeah, well, I just see loads of things going up and services going down. So I do question where is the money going, and they've always got a good answer.
Yeah. I'm just to kind of finish that little story. About maybe half an hour into that operation, Tony, this young lad came by on a bicycle, and he said, "Hey, mister, what are you doing?" and all that.
Get rid of my graffiti.
Just kind of like what I used to do, what we used to do when we were boys, you know. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to remove this graffiti." And anyway, he pitched in to help me for about 45 minutes. It's thrilling. And then after I get done with that sign, Neil, he was so thrilled. He said, "Hey, by the way, the dustbin down there at Princess Garden has got graffiti on it." The flippin' boy ran me ragged. You know, we did three bins. But, you know, that's the power of the community. It's really a great thing. So you wanted, we have next on our list here a topic we wanted to discuss. Neil?
Yeah, it's going to be very sensitive, and, you know, I'm not here to upset people. Some people in the background say I shouldn't bring this up. But if we don't question things, then we're not going to get answers. So I'm looking at the explosion of the budget for SEND. If people don't understand SEND, it is Special Education Needs and Disability. It's a budget has jumped from the lockdown to 22 million, and now this year is going to be £51,780,000.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I'm not against SEND. You know, we support it. Tony and I support it 100%, and I have to make that clear, 100%. Okay. Families and children who truly need it. And this is where we support people with different disabilities, where we can get them to school all around the county. So we have 15,000 children Devon County Council are responsible for, right? And that's quite a mean task. And I've had talks to these different agencies, and if you think each day 15,000 people moved around from A to B in order to get education, totally support that. Okay, the only thing I ask is, why is the bill gone from 22 to 51,780? Okay, there is factors.
I think one of the factors is it's like a monopoly, isn't it? There aren't very many people who want to do it. So the people who do it sort of name their price, knowing that they're going to...
well, we've got the fuel. Fuel's gone up. Wages have gone up. Okay, the monopoly in Exeter is the different people are charging quite a large amount of money, Tony.
Yeah, they'll charge, and sometimes the council have no thing to pay but to pay for it.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but let's look at it. So we've got taxi firms are charging £110 for each day. Okay, the monopoly, there's not, you know, when they know that they can control the figure, the prices go up. So I'm still question 22 million to nearly 52 million. All right. And if I want to add a bit more, let's do it. All right. Where people might get upset. And I'm happy for your questions, and I'm happy for you to come in on it. Okay. 22 million. PIP's gone up. Everything's gone up. People's children's diagnoses have gone up. All right. Transport's gone up. Okay. I still question how it's gone up so far.
So what are the components, Neil, in that SEND? Is this transport? And what else do you think is in there?
It's transport.
So if children live 3 miles away from a school, they automatically qualify.
Okay. And what are their parents obligated in the first instance to take them, or
Well, the
how do they
first
get that
obligation
benefit?
is you are responsible to take your children to school, but there
Mhm.
is factors. People have disabilities, which I totally agree. Okay, but I asked for a percentage of a breakdown, i.e., how many children are out of the 3 mile zone? How many people have, example, ADHD? How many people are on PIP? So I could get an overall picture how this country is, or how Devon is working. Okay, at this time, I haven't got an answer on that.
From what this is true. From what I've heard from someone has one of those benefits, is that you get interviewed by a GP, and you effectively self-declare whether you have it or not.
Well,
Is
you
there some
self-declare.
element of
You
that?
do your children, not yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
It's your children who are.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I just think so I've got a lovely lady I'm looking at. Her child's got ADHD. This is a little bit off the subject. She's been told she has to wait for over a year or 2 years before the child can get diagnosed. Okay, so she is willing to pay privately to get diagnosed, but the medical centre will not accept that letter from a private company or doctor saying the child's got ADHD. So she has to wait 2 years, when her son's going to be leaving education. This is when he needs it now. Is that right or is that wrong? Okay, so I still question people, is each family, are they all entitled to it, or is it easy to jump on the bandwagon and claim money?
Well,
I don't know.
Where's the oversight? Is there a contract manager within the council, or who manages?
But these questions,
overall scheme?
15,000 children. Now, I've been told that it hasn't gone up and it hasn't gone down, but everything's gone up, fuel, costs. And I'm not saying the children and the families are doing it wrong, but these companies who are driving minibuses, they're driving taxis, all right, they're exploiting our money, all right, our money. And I don't care how you skin it. Somebody's making money out of this, out of these vulnerable children and adults and families. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I have a friend. I'm kind of a noble labels guy, but I've one of my friends is a Labor voter, and she mentioned to me that her first comment was one of her first comments when I saw her. She said it's ridiculous about the money that we're spending on it. So everybody sees it. It's so obvious.
Well,
right?
An individual, a child, it's between £19,000 and £22,000 a year. That's one person, one child.
How much?
£19,000 to £22,000 per year. That's just one basic, taking a child to school. Right, so I'm just asking, is the system working? If it is,
is there a more economical way?
Well, it's a question I'm going to follow up through, and I respect everything, and I'm 100% behind supporting families who need it. But I think there's families who exploit this system, and that's the way it is.
Well, that's a good one. I think, don't we have a council member that's one of our council colleagues from the branch that's on the audit committee? Would that be a good one for him to take up?
Yeah, they're going to look at it, the way I look at it, the budget has to have a limit, and we keep going up and up and up, all right? And these are a lot of the reasons money isn't being spent on everything else, because we have to look after our children. We have to look after the adults. We have to look after the vulnerable people. I agree. But you can't tell me there isn't somebody exploiting this system, all right? And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. Well, can you refresh my memory, Neil, about there's some stat about, I know this is different, it's extra city council, but you said there are 51 employees. I mean, it affects the services, what I'm getting at, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, I can remember exactly, but whether I brought it up, last week, there's 58 people used to work for keeping Exeter City clean and tidy. Lovely lady I met last week, she was brilliant.
Very senior director of the council.
Yeah, we're not mentioning names, but she's been reduced to 41 people. She's also been asked to make 15% cuts. She has to have 6 or 7 people looking after the city centre full time. Okay, graffiti is free, but she's only got one man, and there's no money for the materials to do the graffiti. All right, so you can see how it ricochets. I need your questions in, guys. If you've got questions, you disagree with me, I'm happy to stand here and defend. Yeah. Right, we will put a bit of humour in the show as well. My one of my ladies said we got to make this a bit funnier because we don't always want to be moaning. All right, so we are. We're going to talk about my favourite subject in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not parked cars, is it? Abandoned vehicles now. You
Yeah.
don't sleep at night, apparently, thinking of
Yeah, but it's a pain. This vehicle is.
that ambulance at the top of
This has
Dunsford
been
Hill.
a pain. Ever since I've been a councillor, I average about 6 emails since I've been a councillor. I'm not going to say a week, Tony.
All right.
Okay?
You've only got 6 emails since you
No,
started.
just.
Oh,
I
yes.
wish.
Yeah.
I get up at 5. My life's
Sounds like
changed
we need
completely.
to cut back your salary,
Yeah,
mate,
no, my
huh?
life's changed.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is my granddaughter, my grandson is my priority. So now my wife said it would affect our relationship. It hasn't, but I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning now and I do all my emails and then I also come home and do my emails.
I know.
Right,
I
so-
used to get a lie. I'm Neil's neighbor, by the way. But I used to get a lie-in every morning, but I don't. I hear him out there,
Tapping away.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've
Thanks
been,
very
I've
much.
been
though.
removed now. I've got to
Thanks
go
for your
outside and do
dedication.
it because she won't let me do it anywhere else. But going back to my family, no, sorry, this ambulance, it's been really bugging me. All right. All right, I told you I rang the police. The police told me to ring City Council. City Council to ring Devon County Council. And I've been bounced around left, right and centre. I got a stern email back from Devon County Council, one of the gentlemen there, saying, please don't
I'm having
Charlie
sleepless
public.
nights because of all the emails you're
Yeah.
sending me.
And we're going to get our producer here to put on some pictures of the
Offending
ambulance,
item
hopefully,
that's
right?
causing Neil restless nights.
Well, it's not that.
No
It's been
pressure.
there. It's not. It's been there.
Okay,
Right.
it's on the back screen there.
Yeah, it's not the best pictures, but I could give you plenty more.
Is it your
Everything's ripped
ambulance?
out.
That's what we want to
Yeah,
know.
whose ambulance is it?
Is
Right, whoever's done
Well,
the
there's
paint
no
job.
steering wheel.
Who's got the steering wheel? More to the point.
Yeah, well, it's got a tow
Yeah.
rope at the back. Right, they've even put the working signs around it. So if you don't know, it's the top of Dunsford Hill.
Probably came from Ukraine or something.
Okay, so it's got all the steering electric has been ripped out. It's got no window. All the lights are smashed. Everything. But the problem is, guys, it's taxed and MOT'd.
Well, you're inviting everybody else to, take what's left of it,
Yeah,
huh?
if you've
Maybe.
got an old
Are there any
ambulance
good
and you need
wheels
bits
left?
for it, there
Yeah,
it is.
all right. If you've got a tax and MOT, but you want to get rid of the car, just dump it in the road because nobody's going to do anything about it. Or are they? Okay.
Okay, so let's stop the moaning, guys. What are you actually doing to fix it? Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'd
I
like to
spoke
know.
to Devon County Council. They basically told me to wind up and don't worry about it. I spoke to ex-city council. They're not interested. And I sent a letter to the police today. I can't give you the answer on the police because I haven't had it yet. But under the 2000 Neighbourhood and Environmental Act, which I did my study on, okay, we should have a clean neighbourhood. And that actually comes under that act of 2005. So whoever's watching up Devon County Council, you need to do your research. Okay. Also, it's called antisocial behaviour, which is banned in vehicles, whether it's taxed or not.
It's
So-
a health and safety issue as
Well,
well.
yeah,
isn't it?
kids could get in it. I'm not saying they could take the handbrake off because if you can have a
Has
look
it
at the
got a
state of
handbrake?
it,
That's
I
more the
don't
point.
know.
Has that been taken as well?
Well, you're pretty creative if you think a vehicle can have antisocial behavior, Neil.
Well, it's not the fact that the vehicle's going to be, but it antisocial behaviour because the people who live around there, it's annoying them. So what's the difference between having a vehicle annoying you or people doing loud
Yeah.
music? You're still getting annoyed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have rules for a reason, but the rules only apply to people to Devon County Council when they want it.
So what's the next step on the doggone vehicle so we don't have to hear from
I'm
this every
pestering
week?
the police now. Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is put a really horrible slogan on the side, and I'm sure it'll be moved then.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Great idea, Tony. Yeah. Hey, Tony. Let's just go off piste a minute. What else is going on in your constituency, huh?
I mean, essentially, I've been chasing up the elusive highways about jobs to be done. They've sorted out temporarily the problem that was at the top of Red Hills Road, which
Mhm.
was the pavement rising, which apparently was tree roots, and they're going to apparently do a temporary patching job at the bottom of Isleworth Road near the shops.
Super.
But I'd like
That's
to
great.
say when. I
Mhm.
don't know.
Okay. Well, let's find out. Okay.
Well, that's
Report
the hard
back the
part.
next meeting, or in fact, report back tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, but it's the thing what I say. If a resident live in our area. You report a problem to us.
Yeah,
We
you're dealing
report
with
it to the different authorities. If we can't get it sorted out, then remember, we're elected. We're elected. We're the voice of the people. Okay? But if we can't sort it out, why have a system?
Mm-hmm.
All right? Let's, we could just let them, just throw your vehicles
Yeah.
everywhere, guys.
I will
You
say
won't care. Nobody cares.
some departments are easier to get through than others.
Mm.
I mean, I will point that out. Exeter City Council, I do find quite easy to deal with. Devon County, slightly harder. And I honestly thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah. Well, quite a number of people actually who I've run into have sort of mentioned that one of the reasons why they voted for you guys is because it was clear that you would actually deliver. And even though it might take a little bit longer than we'd all like, we know that you're like a dog without a bone, or dog with a bone, I guess it
Well,
is.
dog
without a bone.
I've been told to wind my
Yeah.
neck in a polite, professional
So,
manner.
I'm
I've got
sure
a
that-
question from Tracy here. Can you just show me the question, please? Okay. The question was, have you guys, the constituency, written to the council? And if you are, which is it, Exeter City Council or Devon County Council? Unbelievable. They don't like each other. They don't talk to
Why
each
is
other.
that?
Right, because I've spoke to individuals today, and I've spoke to people in the past I've worked for. For some reason, there's not that proper link. Whether Devon County Council think they're better than Exeter City.
They're not
But
a
I will
threat to
also
each
tell
other.
you this. When I ring up Exeter City Council, I get better results.
I don't understand that, because they're not a threat to each other, because, right?
Well,
Unless they,
It's one of those mysteries.
maybe it could be they're frustrated with each other. Devon County Council says, "Oh, Exeter City never does anything," and it goes, but
No,
because
I would
maybe
never,
it's
I would
because
never
they
knock
both
Exeter City for. I mean, they're always.
They
got
don't have
budget
any money.
restraints. No, well,
maybe
there's
that
budget
could
restraints.
be they don't have any
And-
money, so
and
they're blaming
like
each
the
other
lady
and
said in the council,
arguing.
we've got hard decisions that have to be made.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got hard decisions, I always think.
But like she said,
Yeah.
would you rather have your bins emptied or see, well, not weeds obviously grow, but or something else?
Yeah, so if you've got, going back to Tracy's question, because my wife says I'm a typical politician, never give a proper answer. Okay, so what I would say is write to them, write to the council, write. Easy to find addresses, just pester them.
Yeah,
or
what I
write
would
to me
say
and
is,
I'll pester them.
What I would say is pay attention to your wife, okay?
Yeah. All right, there's one,
Anyway.
my famous thing about cars. If we can get the cars up in where areas. So I had a lovely lady write to me the other day regarding cars and where they're parking. If we can get the pictures up of the vehicles, right? So same again, blatantly cars obstructing the pavement. I mean, totally obstructing the pavements. Okay, that's Marsh Barton, that's parking double lines. But there's a couple of other pictures coming up.
Where were these cars parked?
in
Neil?
Private's Road, right on the bend, and
Is that Alphington, you mean?
yeah, in Elphinton area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's one example if you can see it, blatantly parked on the bend. So people with pushchairs.
Can you give us a pan camera there, producer guy? Thanks.
Okay,
there we
this
go.
was brought to the attention of
Thanks.
the council, and they replied 2 weeks later. Well, the offence is gone. Okay, I wrote to the council. I said, can you accept photographic evidence? They said no. So then I gave them a list of 5 other councils or areas which do accept photographic evidence. So I could spin a story. They're quite happy to take a picture when you go for the camera on
Well,
Elphinton
yeah, I would
Road.
have said they're quite happy to do that, but not.
Yeah, but they
not
won't
a
take
picture
evidence of
somebody
this.
blatantly obstructing the road and pavement.
Yeah.
Before we get on the next topic, can you guys give us an update on Grimesfield and Alphington, and then Tony on your firehouse in Cowick
I
Street?
think we'll club them both together, that one, or not?
Yeah, so I went to the Alphington Village Forum meeting straight after what we did last week.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night. Interesting, but 40, 50 people turned up and question and answers. And the local councillor came as well, the Labour guy, which I get on with. And we had a good Q&A. Okay, same questions, buses and all that. But one of the tasks, there was a gentleman there who writes me every day. Keep on writing, okay, because he's now part of our team. And we are now going forward with the Grimesfield and you're dealing with the other one, Tony, aren't
The
you?
fire,
But as a combined effort.
yeah.
Okay, and what's the next step there then?
Okay, that'll be finalised. So I've got a meeting with him the next few days because what we don't want to do is duplicate effort. All right, so there's a list of issues.
In both cases, I've got to add the community have to get involved. If there's no community backing, then it'll just fizzle out to nothing.
To a happy story.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Kurzweil Road, they rung us up the other day. They had a dustbin issue, no photo of anybody. A car blocked the road.
There's their fault then.
Yeah, they didn't empty the bins. After a few days, I was writing the emails but didn't look at the box saying the reply. My brother Tony.
Well, thank you very much. Said, why don't you just go down to Oakwood House in Marsh Barton and say, could you possibly empty our bins, please? And they did the same day. They said it's not a problem.
Isn't that great?
Met a lovely lad, I think he was called Doug, and he was just coming out of the building, and we explained to him the situation, and within 3-4 hours, so Exeter City Council, good effort, well done.
Makes you wonder if it was Devon County Council, would they?
Well, it's great, getting those relationships going, isn't it? So that you know who to turn to, and you know their mobile phone numbers, and they listen to you as well. It's not an us them. It's a combined effort, isn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah, and
Really
he was
great.
really polite. He said, "I can't guarantee today," which I didn't ask, but he said, "I'll do it by tomorrow." Bang! I had an email from one of the residents thanking us. So, I can't take all the credit. I have to give some to my brother.
Thank you very much. Well, you did try and take the credit.
Yeah, I didn't take the credit. Yeah, he was quite upset because
I
what
said,
about me? Yeah.
I said you'd still be waiting if it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
So at the Alphington Village Forum, that was a really interesting meeting. I mean, I think we were there till 10:45 that night, Neil, or something.
yeah, it was
and-
quite different opinions. All I can say, I've done a summary on it. It's everybody. You got to live in the real world, and the gentleman stood up, and he put it in a real world sense. People got to get their children to school. The traffic has increased. We know that people park on pavements because they're trying to deliver the children to school. There's a lot of issues, but I think they can all be worked out, and we can't solve every problem. Okay, we're in talks with Devon County Council. Devon County Council know all the problems, but they also have their hands tied. So I try and sit on the fence, Tony, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, just to give the audience a taste, because most of our audience probably isn't from Alphington or actually even your constituency, Tony. We have this massive development, a lot of houses being built near Alphington. The GP surgery isn't going to go live until at the earliest next summer, right? So as a result, all these residents that are moving in now are flooding the existing GP surgery, right?
Yeah, so what we've got is between Exeter City Council, Devon County Council and the developers, we've brought this up many a time. There's a lot of discontent. Because you're adding 500 houses plus 2,000 houses, and all explained on the last lot. The infrastructure isn't there, all right? And it doesn't matter. The residents say there's no proper consultation. Devon County Council said there was proper consultation. It went to the ombudsman. It's a story which is just getting bigger and bigger. Okay, the only glimmer I would say is if we look at Cranbrook, I think they had the same issues there, but now 2 years later they've got the shops, they've got the schools, they've got medical facilities there. All right, it's not the way I would have built it. I would have done it the other way around. And
I would have built it as I was building the
he
development.
was telling me the other day, somewhere, is it Spain or France or somewhere where they've got to build the infrastructure first by law. All right, so this would have saved a lot of hassle and a lot of people being upset.
Yeah,
And
another example is Dawlish Road, I think, isn't it? Where it's quite a narrow road, actually, typical Devon road. And they've got like 2,000 houses feeding into it. Or maybe not that much. But
it's
pretty bad,
2,500.
really.
Chudley Road, Dawlish Road. It's, I'm in consultation with Devon County Council. They're just in the middle there, but definitely traffic congestions.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't. Right. The increase in GP services because they haven't built the medical facilities there yet. The school, remember what I told you, it's the government's fault on the school. Okay, I still question who checked it, each level, footings, foundation and all that. All right, but that has a knock-on effect.
And the GP surgery as well, isn't it?
Well, that was going to be built after by the same company who built the school, but unfortunately they mysteriously went bankrupt when it was found out the school was falling apart.
Actually, you just reminded me as well. It was quite concerning, actually, at the meeting. Somebody pointed out to me, ground rent, is that what they call it? Ground rent?
Yeah.
So whether these figures are correct, and if somebody wants to correct me, the surgery would have to pay, anybody want to guess per year, ground rent?
I would
£100.
like to say I wasn't listening to that part.
Normally it's
75
Peppercorn.
grand a year ground rent.
oh my gosh.
Okay. Tony's son's moved in that area. He has to pay ground rent. Somebody else who was at the forum the other day said their child had to move because he couldn't afford the ground rent. So this ground rent is, the more I learn about it, so these companies are building the houses and then they're charging ground rent for the rest of the time you live there.
So that is ground rent. Then does that pay for like landscaping or mowing the lawns?
Yeah,
or,
it pays
the
for
general
all of
sort
that. So
upkeep?
basically, Devon County Council washed their hands of it. Okay, but I bet they still charge council tax, don't they? Okay. All right, so they wash their hands. The ground rent is then charged. But let's look at it. I don't think there's any control of ground rent. So then the people who've got the ground rent can sell it to another company, which can charge more. All right. So questions are there, guys. Are you getting the service with the ground rent? You know, where's it going? Add up how many houses, how much ground rent is being paid. Why are we paying £75,000 for a surgery? I might be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, it's good to have that village forum anyway, so people can stand up and air their problems, because otherwise they might not even, know of them. You wouldn't be aware of them. Some of them anyway. What about in your constituency, Tony? Do you have a lot of building going on, or is it mainly on the west side there?
We've got a lack of building really in Maryvale Road. There's quite a few properties that are building sites at the moment. And I have been informed that it's gone out to tender again, and hopefully, and this is where the word hopefully comes in 8 months' time, the building should start to complete those buildings. And obviously we've emphasised, when the buildings in Newman Road and Maryvale Road are built, they should be for local people. There were people that were displaced when those buildings were knocked down. They're still waiting to move back 10 plus years later.
Gosh.
And we're talking.
But is that because the building company went bust, which was Exeter City
Exeter
Council?
City's building company, which they obviously started for
Which
whatever reason.
Was it 10 million in the red?
Well, let's just say allegedly, yes.
Oh, well, it's not allegedly, it's a fact.
Gone, at the moment, and then allegedly it's been £20,000 a year spent on scaffolding, security, and
How much?
fencing. 20,000 a year, apparently.
Blimey.
So now you know where some of your money goes to.
Well, that kind of leads into our next topic: is who really runs Devon? Are they? I was looking at my my bill the other day. I think I pay at least £2,000 just to Devon County Council, not even including Exeter City Council. It's quite a big chunk of money.
Be more next year.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Cheers.
I'll cheer you up there.
But another moan. Thanks a lot, Tony. No, seriously. I mean, as we mentioned with Exeter City Council, it's not what I call the council employees' fault necessarily. Of course, within any organization, there are people that may not, they're a bit slackers or something, but most of them are diligent.
Yeah, slackers, all right. That's a bit, we don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know what I mean. Most of them are very diligent employees.
Yeah, no, I feel
It's
we're
not their
elected
fault.
candidates. We're elected candidates, but we have no power really. All right. The civil servants, which are non-elected, by the way, right, they hold the power. Okay. The way I look at it, I'm a basic man. I look at things are there. You have to have rules, but a lot of people will hide behind them rules. Okay. Right. They hide behind the rules. They say there's delays. Okay. Because of this and that. Or they give you vague answers. All right. So vague answers.
I've always assumed, by the way, the money that they collect on council tax does actually go to central government, and then they distribute so much. But then I might be wrong.
Are we the voice for the community? Because I don't feel like that. I just feel we're there, we're elected because we have to be elected. Okay. Are we the voice for the community?
Well,
because they hide behind all these rules. And that's a prime example with my famous ambulance. Yeah. All right. You are. I am. All right. I am elected by the people. Tony?
Yes. Well, we both were, like I say. and hopefully we'll do what we were elected for.
So, I mean, let's talk about that. I'm confused. Are you saying that you have no power, that the civil servants run everything? So why should people even care to vote?
Right.
You know, I don't get that.
We call this democracy. All right, we call it democracy. So when we're elected in by the people, right, we take a position in Devon County Council where we can make decisions. I think we only have to have 4 meetings a year. Besides all other, we have loads of committees, right? But it's reduced to 5 meetings a year instead of 4. You know, I think we should have more.
No, it's the other way around.
You only get together for 4 meetings a year.
5,
From 4
yeah,
to
down to
5,
4.
5 to 4.
Yeah, 5 to 4. Yeah, thanks, Tone.
So what do you do the rest of the time?
Oh, we got loads of committees. I'm on different committees. Tony's on different committees.
There's a lot of committees that you're on, from charity funding to scrutinising.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going down. So I'm meeting the Council de Mall regarding the sycamore tree. Monday, I'm going to the recycling centre where we have the heat place where they burn all the food. Right, we're here to fight, Tony. Here to fight for the community.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not going to be walked
So
over,
we're
guys.
hopefully going to be your voice. Find out things that you would never look to find out.
Yeah. So how are you going to? I mean, you mentioned that the civil servants run everything. The fact that you're a part of the
But I wouldn't say civil
committees?
servants. I wouldn't say civil servants. All right. All I can say is we're the elected people. We're the elected voice. All right. We're here to relay to people. And if we could all change the system a bit and be a little bit more helpful, okay? Because there is people in Devon County. There's a lot of chiefs in there, all right, and not enough Indians, all right?
Yeah.
And I know that.
Well, maybe another way I was thinking probably another way of that getting the answer is you have already established relationships with the civil servants, and you are their link to the community, right? And that's powerful because they really need you to be that link, and that's what you're doing. Whereas you're not just a bureaucrat attending 4 meetings a year, right?
Oh, yeah, correct. We're going in, I apologise for any people who work for the council, right? You're not civil servants, all right? So let's just correct that. I apologise. Some of the wording is wrong, all right? So in this moment, we get hyped up, okay? So if I've said anything to offend anybody, then I apologise here and then. But the system needs to change. We all need to work together. We're the link between the communities to you guys. If we can all work together, it would be so much easier, okay? Instead of hiding behind rules. I'm not asking anybody to break the law or anything.
We're not back to this car again, are we?
Well, we can show you the pictures in Barton Fields. Yeah, Barton Fields, yeah? Yeah. We're your voice, guys, to relay to both councils because it's our city and Devon County Council is our county, all right? So we're knocking on doors. And I must say, everybody I've met Devon County Council, because Tony and I do face-to-face, have been lovely to us, all right? Have been lovely, all right? And you've got to remember, we're new at this, Tony.
Well, the same as, if you'd have said 5 months ago I was driving a lorry, So, that's how different it is for me. It's been a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
I must say, yeah.
And but the great thing about you guys, again, is that you've been in the community for so long. You know the community and you know the community issues. You're not career politicians, right? And when you say you're driving a lorry, you're driving around the constituency. You could visibly see that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, I was
that's a great bonus.
Local lorry driver, so I did get to see and speak to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, it was quite interesting. And obviously, as they knew I was running, they sort of told me some of their problems. So, very interesting.
Neil, you got a great story here going about someone you met yesterday or the day before?
Day before. Well, I didn't actually meet her right away. So I went to one of the local schools, the kindergarten school.
Westex Nursery.
Yeah, Westex Nursery, where we're looking to, not me, but there's a trust where we can donate money for the young children to
benefit them for...
benefit, yeah, musical instruments, all this other stuff, which I've got to write a report, which Catherine, I will write the report. But as I was leaving, there was... Can we get a picture up on that? We haven't got the picture. But outside the front was a whole row of really smart baskets for all this different food in it. There was milk, bread, apples, oranges, all right, and it was all free. All free. So I know we have food banks, and I know we have loads of charities, and I know that people are spending voluntarily their time. But let's just stick to this individual, okay? So I asked the reception about this lady, or this person. I didn't know it was a lady. And and I said, can you get her to get in touch with me? All right, because I was really impressed, how it was all laid out, and I needed to know some more information, Tony.
Yeah.
So my wife put a message out on Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever system, and the lady rung me up. I just got back at 5:10 in the evening from work, just about to do a load of typing for the council, and I'd have a quick shower and go and meet her. Very interesting. I won't mention names because she wants to stay very quiet, right? But she basically started looking after, this is after the lockdown, St. Patrick's, and all them areas getting free food, okay? And now she's expanded the free food to different schools, Tony. What schools in your area?
Well, I've got Exwick, Bow Hill, Montgomery, and I can't think of the name of the other, but it's along Exwick Road.
And how does she distribute this food?
Right. So I've got here, Tracy, thanks for your comment. Yeah, Tracy Stevens, and she's not a relative of ours, by the way. Okay, we really do care for the area we grew up in. Right, that's good. But what we care about is, the question is, we're doing this every week. We're doing this in order to relay information to you guys. We're thanking you for this, okay? All right, Tracy Stevens, yeah?
No relation, you've got to add that.
Yeah, no relation. All right, so I understand. So the message is from Tracy Stevens, thank you for your comments. We really do care for the area we grew up in.
We're new at this podcast, by the way.
It's good, yeah. All right.
We have a couple people in the background saying, make sure you say thank you to Tracy.
But, so they're all
but you already did say thank you.
How many times am I going to say thank you?
Thank you for you guys for saying thank you.
Yeah, going back to the lady, she basically met me the other day, and you're flicking my story here. Met her, and she explained that she's now picking food up from different supermarkets. We won't mention all the. I mean, actually, I got names. Actually, there was a few good supermarkets. Marks and Spencer's, by the way. Credit to you.
Great.
Right? Okay, credit to you. Lidl's, little bit of credit, but could do better. But it's interesting what she said. All right, and the more I dig into it, all right, the more, this lady came up to me. I said I can give her some money, all right, because I have 8,000 to give, but I can't give it all to her. But she wanted a van with a refrigerator on it. So
we could go back to that green van again if you put a steering wheel in it. And,
put an ice box in it.
Yeah,
Generator.
Sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah, you could do. Yeah.
All MOT and tax.
I'm sorry about the green ambulance, but that really gets to me. Okay, and she wants somewhere to run this area.
Sort her stuff
so
out.
we're looking at a location which I'm not going to tell you because it's ongoing. But anybody who wants to support this lady for funding,
any supermarkets managers listening?
Well, it's an interesting question because there are people. These shops are giving food, but there's a strict law as well. They're covered by hygiene, safety. But it was interesting what she said. If I climbed into skip, or that lady climbed into a skip and took food out, she could technically be arrested for stealing.
Why is that?
Because you're taking somebody else's possession, and they're saying that even though there's,
sure, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone,
Okay.
Gone,
I missed something. So how is she distributing the food now?
Right. So she's basically in her own vehicle, right? And you've got to go and see these displays. So she gets all the food, delivers them all in her own vehicle, using her own fuel, right? And she needs help. Okay. If I had the money, I would buy her a van. I know there's a lot of charities doing it. Okay.
Where is she delivering the food?
She lives locally in St. Thomas. Okay. The school she's delivering is the whole of Exeter. So she's got about 8 to 10 schools. And I'm not going to name the schools because I'm trying to keep it quiet until more information comes out. But I've tried to get her onto the show. I call her the hidden hero. Right, the hidden hero. And I know there's a lot of hidden heroes out there, guys. And, going around these schools, and she doesn't care who you are. And the way it's laid out, it's not about rich people, poor people. Anybody can take it, okay? But this opens up another interesting question, okay? And the question is, in 2016, all right? Oh, yeah, 2016, France changed the law for supermarkets to throw food away, okay? So we know supermarkets got to make a profit.
Was that an EU
No,
law or
just
something?
France.
Okay.
So we know,
I gotcha.
we know supermarkets have got to make a profit, and nobody's trying to take profit away from people. But tons, and I'm not talking kilograms, tons and tons of food are getting thrown away in Exeter alone. Tons. Now, everybody, at this time in life, people need help, and if you can afford to go to Morrison's or wherever, yeah, brilliant, right? But there is people out there who are on hard times, okay? And the way she displays it, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the best dressed or underdressed, but you just take what you want. And do you know what? Fantastic. But that lady needs recognition. And whoever else, okay, in our community, which is doing this,
even the Exeter
we
food
need
banks
heroes.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got 7 student volunteers. I know that.
Well, let's sort of use the example earlier on in the podcast of the team that's cleaning up the quayside. Again, that's the 20th of June, meeting down at the quay, 1:30 in the afternoon, just for a couple hours. They'll provide litter pickers and bags
I think you could
and everything like
I was
that.
going to say a drink at the end of it, but I think it's probably going to be
Yeah,
a
you're
cup of
right.
tea.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, which is great initiative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll go back to this lady. Right, she's asked for a refrigerated vehicle to collect the food safety. If anybody can help out, brilliant. A secure, clean space to store and sort the food out. She doesn't want publicity. All right, she's not here, anything like that. Not like that. Well, I better not say Greta, have I?
Oh,
All right.
no.
Okay. Right, if anybody's watching or funding, or, you can do a vehicle or venue, then get in touch. Okay, I can make the link with you. Right. That's all I can say on that. She's unpaid as well. She doesn't want money. She just needs this support.
I
Guys.
think we should add in at this stage to the Devon locality budget, which we both and every county councillor's got. We really do need people to sort of send in ideas about whether they want the money and what they want the money for, because it's just a case of us spotting them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And new people as well. Not
yeah,
people who every
free
year
movement.
took
Free
advantage of
movement,
it.
is that what they're called? Free movement. I just need some people to come in. Is that good? Because I've heard a lot of good things about free movement. If any of you belong to it and you turn up in the parks, I need to know more about it.
What is free movement?
Oh,
What
it's
does
an
that mean?
organisation.
It gets the people out essentially to do exercise, and I think he operates all around the city.
Okay.
So it's a free thing. You just
Yeah.
register and then apply to go on the exercise things, and then turn up if they agree.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned, Derek, we need to know who the community heroes are. Can I be a bit cheesy, okay? Say, you guys are our community heroes, okay?
But
Yeah.
not really. I would just say.
No,
we're the
you are. I
elected
mean,
county
give me
councillors.
an update. Well, what I was getting at is, can you give me an update, Neil, on the meetings that you've had? You're going to have a meeting with the graffiti guy, and we've already started our graffiti team, right?
Yeah,
we're going to have a landscaping team. We're going to attack the Riverside Center, hopefully, if we get that
I've
pushed
got.
through.
I'm coordinate with ex City Council if I can speak to their expert, the one who has no money, but he goes around.
The graffiti guy.
Yeah, graffiti guy, because we need to learn. Tidy Exeter, I think I already told you this. A gentleman's invited us to one of their annual meetings. They're all over graffiti. If we have to, we'll put a team together, or we have a team. I just need more people, right? But I also need to learn the products.
Rob feels a bit lonely at the moment, doesn't
Yeah, Rob, local hero.
Local
yeah.
hero, Rob.
All right, Ian in Alphington going out doing the weeds. Not forgotten you. We will organise the team. Okay.
Well, it's not. Some of this isn't too complicated. I mean, all you have to do is Google graffiti and make sure you wear oven gloves or hand whatever. Which I never
I know
wear.
people. We won't mention graffiti again.
Yeah.
All right, only to update
So-
you, because that's a continual problem. Which really, like the ambulance guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to France, I'm going to put a motion in. When's our next meeting? The proper meeting in Devon County Council.
September, I think. They've had to move it a bit for various reasons, but I think this one in September. So I don't know how early before you've got to put the motion in, but first things first, I think you've got to obviously send a thing off to Steve Race too.
Yeah, so I've got a letter to go out for Steve Race regarding a motion. I want to put a motion forward on to Devon County Council regarding what Francis do, making it illegal for supermarkets to throw away food. Okay, all right. This would be a working motion for Devon County Council to push forward. So besides the Swift boxes, all right, I think we should be feeding our people with this food waste, or not waste, this food which they're throwing away.
What's been going on with the Swift boxes?
No.
Well, somebody's actually put on the WhatsApp group how many Swifts there've been over so many years, the last 10 years. So there doesn't seem to be much of a decline, but apparently one of our council meetings, the most important issue of the day was, should we put up more Swift boxes?
Yeah. Well, are these...
So a Swift, if I'm correct, is a bird which cannot land on the floor. Okay? It basically, you have to have the Swift, and it goes up in the sky, and it feeds off the insects.
Yeah, it's kind of like a whale in the ocean. It just, keeps on going through the air with a mouth open, and all the bugs come in.
I've not done my
right?
research on
No,
the
that's
Swift,
what
is it true that
last
they
night I
can fly
went
a certain height, go to sleep, come down, glide, and then they whatever?
Last night I went to dinner with some guys, and one guy told me all about the frickin' Swifts, about they just keep their mouth open. For 3 years, they never land for three flipping years.
Yeah,
you believe that? Seriously. But aren't these related to these contraptions down on the roundabout near the View Cinema?
Yes, I think there's a few Swift boxes there, but I don't think they're very well used.
But I haven't seen a Swift in there.
Maybe
they're important. They're very important, I guess. Yeah.
So going back to this motion, I'm going to put a motion through and I'll write to Steve Race and basically to prevent food from thrown away. So I need encouragement for from local members. We need to redistribute this food evenly and fairly to people who need it. Okay, we need to cut the waste, and we need to support struggling families. All right, and that's where we are right now. Right,
Yeah.
So we're not supporting local families and anybody in Exeter and Devon, in my eyes. Right, we need to be supporting.
So you're going to make a motion, Tony, in September, did you say?
Yeah, I think that's the next the main council meeting in September, because there are only 4 a year.
Yeah. So what are you doing? Are you meeting in committees?
What happens is
between then and now,
without reading up, I think we've got so many days before. I think it's 8 days or something like that. You have to put a motion in so that they know it gets put on the schedule. Then so that. Obviously, then the chairperson. I've got to say chairperson because it's a woman now.
It's just called a chair now.
Oh, is it chair? There we go.
There's no. It's just chair.
We've gone that way.
All right.
She can say, look, we've got a motion coming through. It'll always be a chairman to me, by the way, but that's just me.
Well, could I ask you to make a motion? Okay, it's why don't you meet more flipping often than every 3 months?
Well, that's good. Actually, I might
ridiculous.
put that motion.
Put it
forward.
at you ought to be meeting every week. All the problems you got,
really,
right?
I would say every month, but then
I mean, what are you doing?
No,
seriously,
right.
I guess you're in committees.
Be serious.
I guess, right?
The constituencies are made, and all the emails coming in. We're the link men. We're trying to get answers. All right, and I think we're fairly on top of it. But I totally agree. We should have more than 4 a year. It's reduced from 5 to 4. Right, we want to change. I'm willing to do it once a week. I'm willing to do it once a month. I don't care. So, good point. We could put a motion forward. I expect we won't get that motion. We're going to put the food waste forward motion.
Again,
I'm going to chase the educational people with the child with ADHD, because no way that child should wait for 2 years to get a recognised prescription.
And also our colleague councillor on the audit committee looking at the send provision and where the money's going and who's.
I think it is a case of. Where's the money going to now?
No, it's a touchy subject, and everybody will say, well, you shouldn't be looking into it. All right. But I've always said some of it can be exploited. All right. And prove me wrong. But if you audit the books and do it, people know if they exploit it.
It does boil down to, you have to audit every department anyway to see whether or not you're going to get value for money. And that would just be another audit of another department. All the departments are going to be audited anyway to see whether or not you are getting the value for money.
Well, we say that but we don't have any control. We're only the second biggest party, but we're not on the committee.
I mean, it's like highways.
Committee,
it's like highways. We do not have a highways team in Exeter for the bigger jobs. It has to be tendered out. So everything.
Not the
comes-
committee. What's what we've not got on?
The cabinet.
The cabinet.
We're not on
Okay.
the big one. No,
So
we're not,
really, we don't
can't
have.
play with the big boys. Can we?
No, we don't.
No.
So reform is here to stay. Nobody seems to like reform, and I know some of the councillors or individual councillors in some of the different wards, in different areas, are getting some negative feedback from these other individuals. I'm not saying everybody. You know, I have to say some of the a young gentleman who's one of the youngest guys in Exeter or Devon County Council. We're going to work together. He's part of the Green Party, a lovely gentleman, and I'm really interested in working with him regarding the young voice. So these young children who have a voice, you know, people need to listen because it's their future as well. It's not, you know, I'm old now. I'm just a gobby person trying to upset people in order to get proper answers for the constituency.
And refresh everybody's memory. How do they get in touch with you guys? Tony?
Well, it's the same again. Our addresses are online. Our telephone numbers are online. We're not going to hide where we live. And if not, you can get us through the Devon County Council websites.
Okay, that's super. And so we're going to be making a shift here. We're actually, in the last week, we've finally been able to get a new studio going. And that's going to be our permanent setup. We're thrilled about that, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I have to admit, where we are right now, can I mention there, guys?
Sure, yeah.
Taggy's lot, yeah, out Eid.
Devon Podcast
Okay.
Studios.
Devon Podcast. These guys have been fantastic. Okay, they've took my money, but it's reasonable price. Okay, the guys in the background have been really, really good because we put a lot of demand on them. All right, so what I will say, Devon Podcast, I put my hand out to you. Thank you for supporting us. You have been brilliant. Okay, but I can't keep paying out, or we can't keep paying out of our pocket. So what we've done now, we're going to move. I think we're still here next week, guys, so you can't get rid of me that easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a two-man show next week, isn't it? Unless we can get another special guest in.
Two-person show, actually.
Two
Yeah.
persons.
Two persons,
Sorry,
yeah.
Yeah.
But interesting because we have got people lined up. All right. Right. I think some people are scared because we're reform. I'm not changing this. I am reform. All right. Because we need to change things. Okay. And I will rattle it. But we're interested in local policies and politics.
Local issues,
Yeah.
local policies.
And
Yeah.
one of the great things about you guys is you're going to be generous, and if there are any community organizations that want to use your studio, get in contact with Neil.
Yeah, I've got to be careful because I don't want to take money away from Devon Pod, all right? Okay. But if it's a local charity or something like that and you want to come on, let's come on.
Yeah.
There is a gentleman could come on next week. He's called Ash. Ash, I hope your mouth's all right. He went to the dentist today and he had a fill-in, else he would have been here. He's done this small invention. It's a very simple invention. He has supported me from the beginning, okay? And we've invited him on and he's going to come on hopefully next week. We've got another gentleman who works really hard. And he's not happy about the amount of money he's been paying. So if he makes,
I think on that one, Neil, we're going to need the bleeper out.
yeah, we might have to have a bleeper. So when we
might
met him
have
the
to
other
have a
day,
bleeper out. He's
yeah, it was interesting because he's bought a plot. He's going to build a £1.6 million house, and then the taxman's going to bill him 200 grand before he even moves in. He did swear quite a lot. We did invite him on. He's considering it. But under.
But it might be a 10-minute delay on that one.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Because we don't swear on this. All right.
No. We might have to get a bit more equipment on that.
Mm.
But on a good note, once again, Rob, thank you for doing this. We had a brilliant Exeter City Council. Fantastic today.
Yeah.
Good result. You know, I think hand it over to Rob. Crack on.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm really thrilled that you guys are here, that you've been elected. Been in the local area for decades, and everybody can see already that you're making a difference. Again, if any local community event has any need for the studio, please get in touch with Neil. And particularly if you want to support our party, sign up to the Reform Party, and we'll see you in the branch at the AGM in July, right? Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at the same time.